Hey, I'm back with another stream, and in this one we are going to be fixing what Apple broke with Safari, mobile Safari that came bundled with iOS 13.4. So I have a sun and moon icon on my website at the top, this part specifically. Well, it used to be a sun and moon icon. Actually, I can show it. I can show you what it looks like in Google Chrome, and this still works for Android devices out there, and also, well, they're running Google Chrome as well. So it used to look like this before, but with Apple's iOS 13.4, it turned into this thing. Well, the border radius for the inner part doesn't seem to apply anymore, and when I tap on it, there's like it glitches out. So I can't tell Apple to fix it. So I think I have to change my implementation to work around this bug. I was looking online to see if I can find a if I can find an alternative for the sun and moon icon. I just wanted to keep it like purely CSS, and I found this on the web. This is fairly similar to what I want to do, and it's like rather than using box shadows, this guy uses another div and then puts one div on top of another div and then uses border radiuses, but this solution doesn't rely on box shadows. And I think what's wrong with iOS 13.4 is the way that they draw box shadows seems to be broken for now. So to mitigate that, I'm going to transfer my I'm going to implement it this way rather than the other way. So I'm going to be removing my old implementation, and I am going to use this one instead. Okay, let's get started. So let me start by showing you the existing code. So this is what I have right now, and this is as clean as it gets. It has, well, I have a single button in here, and this single button, I assign a box shadow for the button. Well, these values, I just played around with these values until I made it look like a sun and moon. This is kind of a hack. So let's start by looking at what we need. Okay, so I've looked into what these two classes are. Essentially, from all of this code, what I need is inside here. So I need these two divs and the class names that they have. So I already have an outer div, but I need to have an inner div. So my outer div that for the outer div, I will still be using the button that I have, but for the inner div, I have to add a div inside the button, which I'm not sure if it's the cleanest approach, but for my specific use case, I think it's good enough. So we are going to go with that. And if you find a better solution along the way, then we can just try that one as well. So I think I can just copy over this div, to be honest, and I'll modify the class name. So instead of this dark, by the way, actually, before I copy this, copy the div, I want to talk to you about accessibility. So I had this text inside my button, and I set the text color to be transparent. And the reason why I have text inside my button is because when a screen reader hovers on my button, it will read dark mode toggle. And if I don't have this text, the screen reader will just say a button, but then obviously the person wouldn't know if it was what the button was for. So I had to have this text in here, but I'm learning HTML every day, right? So I've discovered this other way. So apparently you can achieve the same effect using something called an ARIA label. So I can do something like this. And I can remove the text from here, close the tag and close the component tag in there. And if I go back to the website now, everything should be fine. All right, let's refresh the page. There you go. It still works. It glitches out in desktop Safari as well, but it's not as bad as iOS Safari. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so we've managed to get rid of that. Also, let's get rid of color transparent and overflow hidden, which was required for the old implementations. Okay, still does the same thing. Good. Okay, let's start by copying that div to be inside my new button. All right, so that's what we need. We were going to copy this div inside the div inside the button that I have. I shouldn't have closed that tag. Anyway, let's add it back. Inside this button we are going to have a div, and this div is going to have its own class name. Let's give it the same name for now, crescent. I'm not sure I'm not sure if that's how you read it, but whatever, crescent. Okay. Now we have to add that to our Sass file in here. So, okay. Let's see what this thing has for the style. Okay, so it has scale 1, and then these things, and then display block, whatever. Okay, I guess I can copy all of these things, and I would assume that it would work. But let's clean these things up first. So for all of the lines, let's get rid of the semicolons. Okay, that works. And for these lines, let's tab them out. Okay, so I'm not sure if I need a cubic Bezier transform, so I'm gonna remove this. And I want the scale to start at 1, so I see it. Let's give 10 pixels for now. I don't know what this does. For the width and height, it should be smaller than my current dark mode toggle, right? Because this will be the inner circle. The inner circle should be smaller than the outer circle. So let's go with width 1.4 and height 1.4 as well. And let's select background color to be something different than white, because the background color of the page is white. So I think I'm gonna go with green. Why not? Okay. And transition duration should be the same as the other stuff. Okay. All right, I think that looks good. Now let's get rid of the box shadows, because we're not going to be using the box shadow implementation anymore. Oops. Okay, let's remove these things. Remove that one. Border color, transparent background. Okay, and border radius is, I believe it's 100%, right? Yes, for both of these divs. Let me check. Yes, border radius is 100% for that one, the outer one and the inner one. Okay, let's see what this looks like on Safari. Our button is gone and it's not visible right now. I think that's because we didn't set a background color for it. Or we might need to import the CSS for the outer circle as well. So for the outer circle, let's import the CSS for that one. Let's get these things, and we need to assign a background color for it. Well, let's just paste these things in and let's clean them up manually. I don't think we need margin auto. For background transparent, let's just use black for now. I'll change it with the hex color later. We don't need this. Width and height is already assigned. Border radius is already given. All right, let's take a look now. Okay, we have a fully black circle. Let's see if that style is correctly important. Crescent. Okay. Is that how you write it? I guess. Crescent. Yep. Okay, that was a typo there. So let's go back to Safari again. Okay, there you can see my little circle there. We want it to be on the top right instead of bottom left. I'm not sure how we can do that. What's this transform origin, by the way? What happens if we get rid of this? Nothing. Okay, I'll just remove it. Whatever. So what if we say top 10 pixels? Does it move up? It does move up. And if we change this right to left, okay. And if we change this to bottom, all right, there you can see our, well, this kind of looks like a moon shape now, right? Let's try to make this go a bit more inside the, no, go a bit more inside the outer circle. Okay, I think that looks good. Now when we click this, okay, let's, instead of making green, what happens if we make it white? Do we get a, okay, that will be our moon. I don't know if it should go that deep. Let's make it 10 pixels again. Yeah, that looks similar enough to the previous moon that I had, right? Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's change the color to green so we can see it better until the end of this tree. Okay. Alright, we don't have box shadow transitions anymore, so I'm going to get rid of this variable there. And let's see if that has any effects. No. Okay, everything is expected. Now we have to animate this, right? So if we change scale to 0.1, does the circle get smaller? Yes, it does. Okay, that's good. That's good. So that's what we need to do. For the sun icon, we want the background color to be, I think, white. What was it before? Oops. Why is it so? Okay, I can't type again. Oh wow. Sometimes you just forget where the keys are on the keyboard because I'm using a blank keyboard. Maybe I should practice a bit more. Yeah. Anyway, so the sun should be white when dark mode is engaged, obviously, because it was white in. Actually, I think they're the other way around. So if moon used to be, but this is the box shadow, but we use the box shadow to be the color of for the. Okay, I'll just say 000 in here. Okay, and we will get rid of that one, and for the moon I will say background to be white. Okay, that's good. Well, there's your sun and moon, well, color transition at least. Okay, now we have to animate, but now we need to animate the scale for the crescent. I'm not sure how that's you read it. Anyway, okay, now what we can do is we can say crescent, and we need to transition the transform. Yes, that's done. Scale. Transform scale 1. So the sun. No, actually, if the sun is showing, then this shouldn't be showing. If the moon is showing up, then the scale should be. But these are the opposite, right? I mean, moon got mixed with sun accidentally. And that should be 1. Yeah, they are the opposite way. So there should be 1. That should be 0. Oops. That should be 0. We don't need the box shadow anymore. We can get rid of this one. And also, when we are using screen readers and we are tabbing, I mean, if you're going over the components, so if I select this component, so if I press tab, it will select this component, right? Okay, I'll press tab and I'll press space. So that means the button is selected, but there's no way of me knowing that the button is selected because I've disabled the button outlines. So what we could do to increase the accessibility for that button is we can change the color, hover color of that button. So if the button is active or the button is selected, whatever, we can change the color for the button. So that's what I'm going to do. So if it's focused, we can change the background to be something a bit lighter. We can probably go with like I don't know, something a tiny bit lighter than fully black. That's gray. That's not nice. Okay, CCC. Okay, still a bit too much. Let's try 333. I guess that's fine. So it's, yeah, that's lighter than black. I'm not sure if you can see the difference, but when I press tab, then it becomes this sort of like gray-ish color. That's fine. We need to add a focus for the moon as well. So I'm just going to copy this thing. And I'll just put it here and say moon focus, and Okay, let's change the green to be white. I want to add the transition for the background color, because as the background color for the page is changing, you can obviously see that there's this white circle shrinking down in here. So I don't want that to happen. I want that circle to change its color as the background of the website is changing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the transition to the background color of the little inner circle, so it becomes more transparent as the animation proceeds. Okay, so the background color is white by default, but I'm not going to put it in here. I'm going to put the background color to be in here. Well, in here actually it should be transparent, but in the other situation it should be white. Okay. I think I got the order mixed up. So like it still looks like there is it still looks like there's a circle that is going smaller when I click this, right? Like, okay, that clearly wasn't the... Okay, what if we say, instead of transparent, if it goes the same color as the background of the page, so that's 0, 0, 0. Okay. That is clearly better though. Is the page background 0, 0, 0? That's what I'm wondering right now. It's 1, 1, 1. So if I change this to 1, 1, 1, oh, that looks very nice. Okay, I don't want this to be 80, 80, 80. I will go with BBB. Okay, that looks very good. I think that animation looks overall better than before, just because we've managed to improve it in terms of accessibility, because we've added this ARIA label down here, and well, it should work on mobile Safari now. Let me bring up my phone. Let me refresh the website and let's see what it looks like on my iPhone screen. So I'm gonna tap the moon icon over there. Yeah, that looks very nice. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm happy with those results. It looks really nice. And I think that's it for the stream. We managed to fix the bug for Safari, and we managed to make the sun and moon icon a tiny bit nicer for all other browsers. I wouldn't have done it if Apple didn't break the box shadow implementation in Safari. Or maybe they're doing the right thing and maybe Google Chrome is doing the wrong thing, but who knows. All that matters is we've managed to fix the issue, and yeah, that's it for the stream, and I will see you on the next one.